You might not like the truth, but I'll never tell a lie. Just because you call yourself holy, it does not make you a man of God. Pope Leo XIV, you are a fraud, a globalist puppet and shill trying to advance Islam. How do you explain promoting an ideology that still permits child marriage? And why would you allow a Muslim prayer space in the Vatican library? Catholics, are you okay with this? No, Leo. Christians and Muslims cannot live together and be friends. I'll tell you why. Muslims can go and pray in Christian countries, can't they? What happens to Christians in Muslim countries? They will get killed. I don't see you saying that, though. You rushed to attack President Trump and defend the Iranian regime, yet you stood silent when that same regime killed 30,000 Iranians just a couple of months ago. Just days before you attacked President Trump, you met behind closed doors with David Axelrod, Barack Obama's chief strategist and top advisor. Just two Chicago boys in the same room. The Southside Pope and Obama's longtime Chicago political operator. Coincidence? Or is it coordination with the Democratic Party? And while Christians in Nigeria are being slaughtered on a daily basis, what did you do? You put out a tweet. And instead of stepping foot in Nigeria, you instead flew to Algeria to step inside the world's third largest mosque. It's crystal clear what you're doing. Susan Kokinda and Barbara Boyd are absolutely correct when they say that this is coming straight from the top. King Charles pushes Islam. William and Kate tour the mosques. The Pope pushes dialogue that seems like accommodation. The Democratic Party and the left cheered on. None of this is organic, just like the trans movement. And look who's all in it. The Democratic Party, the Pope, the royal family, the UK government, the Church of England, the Canadian and Australian government, the UN, and the EU. All aggressively pushing mass migration and open borders. This is the great replacement happening in plain sight. What I find fascinating, Leo, is that you want to lecture the world about open borders while the Vatican sits safely behind one giant wall. But now I want to hear from you guys. Is the Pope a man of God, or is he a placed puppet pushing a globalist agenda? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, love you guys. Peace.
President, did you post that picture of yourself depicted as Jesus Christ?
Well, it wasn't depicted. It was me. I did post it, and I thought it was me as a doctor, and had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support. And only the fake news could come up with that one. So I just heard about it, and I said, how did they come up with that? It's supposed to be me as a doctor making people better, and I do make people better. I make people a lot better.
فهو قداسة البابا ليون يوقع ويسجل بخط يده كلمات ستبقى محفوظة في صفحات السجل الذهبي لجامع الجزائر.
The church just now. What's your view on the post that the president posted and then deleted yesterday that many people thought was him depicting himself as Jesus?
Look, I'm not going to speak for the president. I'm speaking for myself, a lifelong Catholic. I wish they stay out of immigration. They don't know what they're talking about. Because if they wore my shoes for 40 years and talked to a 9-year-old girl that got raped multiple times, or stood in the back of tractor trailer and 19 dead aliens at my feet, including a 5-year-old boy that baked to death, if they understood the atrocities that happen on the open border, I think their opinion would change. And I welcome discussion with any of them because they don't understand. Illegal immigration is not a victimless crime. Where President Trump had the most secure border in the lifetime of this nation right now, lives are being saved. He's saving thousands of lives a year because he has a secure border. Human traffickers are out of business, right? The cartels are going bankrupt because of that secure border. I wish they'd understand that, because if they did, I think they have a different opinion.
Number one, when the Pope says that God is never on the side of those who wield the sword, there is more than a 1,000-year tradition of just war theory. Okay? Now, we can, of course, have disagreements about whether this or that conflict is just, but I think that it's important, in the same way that it's important for the Vice President of the United States to be careful when I talk about matters of public policy, I think it's very, very important for the Pope to be careful when he talks about matters of theology. And I think that one of these issues here is that there has been, again, hey, random dude screaming, I told you I'd respond to your point. I just want to respond to this question first. But I think one of the issues here is that if you're going to opine on matters of theology, you've got to be careful. You've got to make sure it's anchored in the truth. And that's one of the things that I try to do. And it's certainly something I would expect from the clergy, whether they're Catholic or Protestant. Now,